Welcome to this session of Product Design and Value Engineering. In today's session, we'll discuss about concept development. In previous session, we have discussed about product development process, in which we have seen that one of the steps is concept development. Now, concept development is very important and it is a very complicated process in itself. So today we will discuss in detail about concept development, how the concept development process starts and how to come up with a correct or with a good concept. So let us start with the process itself. First of all, we know that concept development is most crucial phase of product development process, because once you have finalized your concepts, you have certainly finalized your design and which aspect of the design uh, that will attract the customers. This will be finalized in your concept itself. Once the concept is decided, there will be limitations on minimum cost. If you have selected a very lucrative concept which seems a high quality product, then the minimum cost will obviously be high. So once you have decided the concept, your minimum cost at which the product can be produced will be decided. You cannot produce a high quality product in less cost. So once you have decided the concept, it will be limited. Then if you have decided your concept, then the functions that a product can be performed, it also will be limited. It also will be get decided that okay, if the concept is finalized, then this much functions can the product will perform and this much functions product will not be able to perform. For example, if you have decided that for communication, you have decided a concept which will be, suppose it is a handwritten note, like the letters we used to send. So your concept is of letters. So for communication, if your concept is of letters, you cannot share animation with letters because the concept puts limitation on it. But also, if you have decided the mode of communication as a mobile phone or as an email, then the minimum cost letter has cost of 25 paisas only. But for email you need some hardware, some software, so minimum cost at which the product will be uh, produced will go high. So the concept will put some limitations in the upcoming steps. So concept development is very profound and very important while designing or developing a product. Okay. Also, the concept will put some limitations on secondary functions. Uh, Continuing with our example of letters, if you are using emails, then secondary functions, attachments, some pictures, some changes of fonts, some say some decorative fonts and all that can be done in email. But if our concept involves papers, say a letter written on paper, then the secondary functions cannot be there. So the secondary functions, which secondary functions will be there, all this will be decided in the concept itself. And that's why the concept development is very important. So how to tackle this problem of concept development? What will be the process of this concept development? So the concept development process or the front end process or concept development process is known as the front end process. This is one of the most widely used concept development process, and it starts with identifying customers need. As you would have guessed, every concept development process starts with customer needs. If there is not any need, then there is no purpose of any product. So you start with some customer needs, then you establish some target specification. Target specification is decided based on customer needs. If customer says that I want something that can travel me from one point to another, that is customer need. But target specification will be how many customers to be traveled at which speed. So customer needs will be in vague terms, but target specification will be in numerical terms. Then there will be concept generation. We will generate a concept, we will generate many concepts rather, and then we will select some concept from those concepts. After selecting the concept, we will test concepts. If our concepts are good, then we'll finalize the specification which our tested concept can achieve. Then we will compare those specification to current market situation. This is known as benchmarking. We will compare our specification, our product, our concept with current existing products in the market. And after benchmarking, we will do some economic analysis of if we will make profit or not. And after all this, we'll go in next step, which is modeling and prototype. So this is the entire process of concept development. Now let's look at all these steps in some details. The first step is identifying the customer needs. Now customer have different needs, so each customer that you are talking with will have some different kinds of needs. So you will not be able to satisfy all those needs in single concept or single product. So what you will do is you will uh, identify all the needs, but you will make a list of needs of different customers, and you will make priorities based on these needs, that what customers prioritize, what is must and what can be avoided if necessary. Then you group those needs into different groups for easier review. Suppose you survey 10 different people about their needs. So all those 10 will give 5 different needs. Out of those 50 needs, say there will be a group of 12 needs, and all those 10 people will ultimately want that 12 things in altogether. And every group has 10 to 8 needs in them. So there will be one need that all 10 people want. There will be one need that only 8 of them want. The other two will say that we don't want it, or we'll find if our product doesn't have it. So you are making this matrix, identifying all the needs and grouping those needs and identifying which are the needs that all customer wants that must be on your products, and which are optional needs that will be there if necessary as secondary functions, and if not, it will not affect the functionality of your product or purpose of your development. After the needs are identified, we are establishing target specification. Now remember, customer needs will be subjective. They want low weight of something. If you are designing a laptop, customers will say that okay, I don't like my laptop being heavy, so I want a low weight laptop. But customer will not say that I want only laptop which is 150 grams of weight, which will have 2 kilograms of weight. So you need to decide which will be the weight, and you need to quantify it. You need to represent those in numbers, and it is known as specification. So customer will say that okay, I want low weight, low cost or high efficiency, but you have to convert those into numbers, and this is your target specification. If customer says low cost, how much low? Less than 10, less than 100, less than 1000, that is up to you, and you have to figure out what customer means by low cost, and you set that specification that okay, my product must have this much weight. I cannot allow more weight than 4 kilogram. The price must be less than 100 rupees. Efficiencies must be greater than 85%. These are target specifications. Now remember that these specifications are not exact. Those are in quantifiable terms, in numbers, but not exact. Less than 100 might be 99, 95, and 90. Less than 100 might be 10 also. These are not in exact terms. So we are giving it a target specification. We want to achieve that at least. After that, no matter what we achieve, we will try to achieve our best, but this is the lowest. We want to surpass this. After that, all we can go is the plus, is beneficial. Because why I am saying is because we'll come to finalizing the specification. Then remember that target specification is a benchmark only, a lower bound only. Then there will be concept generation. In concept generation, we are not making designs, we are not making products. Many people think that concept generation is about making designs and products and all that. No, we are just ideating, we are just thinking in our head that what can be done. This is the process of concept generation. R&D departments, they develop number of concepts that can meet the specification. Each concept have some capabilities, their own capabilities and limitations. And we generate many concepts during this concept generation step. For example, if we want to design a cloth clip, which can be used to hang clothes on the line. So there can be numerous concepts. Remember, I am showing here the actual products, but we are not designing the products. We are just thinking in our head that what can be solutions for paperclip. So the one can be paperclip with plastics. This can be one solution. This can be one concept. We are thinking this in our head. We are not manufacturing it at all as of now. The other one says that okay, I don't want to use plastic. I can use metal, sheet metal, because it is more durable. Someone will say sheet metal is costly. Let's say we use spring as metal and we use wood. So it can be another concept. But someone else will say that okay, all this is fine, but we are using too much material. I just want to use a wire and make a clip out of it. So it can be another concept. And someone will be very much creative and he will think out of a box and he will give some design, like he will think of a design like this, and this can be a concept as well. We are now not thinking about either the concept is feasible or not. We are just focusing on generating more and more ideas. So all these are different ideas for same problem which can be solved. Now out of all these concepts, we will select some good concept, and it is known as concept selection. All the concept that we have generated, we will select 3 or 4 concept which are promising, and then we are uh, we are going to evaluate this concept, and the concept can be evaluated based on cost, based on technological requirement to manufacture using that concept, based on machine available with organization, based on USP or expertise of organization. What is that? USP is unique selling proposition. If your organization is known for its low cost product, then you should select a concept which is a low cost concept. If your unique selling proposition is high quality product, you should select a concept which will give maximum quality. So that is what USP is. Then expected profit and expected rate of production. All this will be considered while selecting a concept. In our previous example, we have seen that this concept seems a good design, an innovative design. But if we think about mass producing it, it will require so much time to mass produce this, and it will be hard to manufacture this also. Instead of it, this will require less material and it can be produced very quickly with automated machines. So, because there is no assembly also. So, this is a better concept if we are thinking about mass production. All this will be considered in concept selection. And depending on those criteria, we will select one or more concept, and we will make some concept combining. We can select either one concept from our previous generated concept, or we can combine two concepts to come up with a new concept, and then we will finalize one concept, or we can finalize two concepts at most, and then we will test those concepts. Now, how to test those concepts? Because the concept in previous page are just layout overviews. We have not manufactured anything, or we have even not drawn anything also. We have not made design on papers also. So in concept testing, we build on those concepts. We find out precisely that what will be cost of production, what will be functions, how the product will work, what will be the assemblies required, sub assemblies. All this will be worked out in concept testing, and then we will test those concepts. How can we test? There are different methods. We can draw drawings of the concept on drawing sheet, and we can compare them. We can use computer softwares to draw the drawings. We can use computer softwares to make 3D models in CAD software, and we can test them. All these are uh, all these are low cost methods of concept testing, and they will require less time, and they are preferred. Whenever you can test your concept using these methods only, go for this only. But if your concept is somewhat new and you are not sure that your CAD software is showing the correct model, or your CAD software is showing the correct functionality, then you have to build a physical model. So for that, you can build a scale down physical model, which is a small size representation of your concept, or you can build a full scale prototype. But remember that it is only used when you are not sure that the product will function properly or not. Because why we are avoiding this? Because they are more time consuming, they are expensive, but we need to, if we need to check if performs proper performance of product is there or not. If we want to check if the product is performing desired functions, then only we are going to build these models for testing our concept. Here are some example of concept testing. This shows the drawing. The application, the developer is testing its layout in of a computer application or of a telephone application. So what he is doing is he is drawing interfaces on paper and checking that it looks good or bad. It is a very fast method, and it can be generated very quickly. If you have more resources, then you can go for a computer simulated model. So a graphic designer, a designer of clothes, is checking his concept with different colors and trying to see that which will be the best option. Or you can build a prototype, a low cost prototype. Here we have built a low cost prototype. So this is a very famous design of bag nowadays, and it shows that how its concept was tested. So what they have done is they have not made entire bag as it is, but they have made a bag of paper only to see that how it looks. and how it functions, because making the bag, only one bag will be very costly. Making prototype is very costly, so we have just made a makeshift or a make do paper bag which will represent the actual bag, and if necessary we can build an actual prototype, but we will do this only if necessary. Actual prototype will be non-functional or functional as we have discussed in prototype testing, but this will be very costly, so we try to avoid it as much as possible. Once we have tested our concept and we have satisfied with it, we are finalizing the concept specification. Now, what is finalizing the concept specification? So, after concept testing, select the best concept and check that each concept performs differently. So, each will have different specifications. So, decide final product specification based on capabilities of concept. During our deciding the specification part, we have discussed that we have said our cost of product should be less than 100 rupees. But after the concept has finalized, we can say that okay, our cost will be 85 rupees for sure. So less than 50 is the target specification, but 85 rupees is final specification. Okay, it will be for sure 85 rupees only. That is finalizing the concept specification, and it will be only finalized once your concept and design is ready. After you have finalized the specification, you benchmark. Benchmarking is simply comparing with other people, other industry, other products available in market. So what we'll do is, after our specification are ready, we'll see that okay, how which competitive products are there in market and what are their specifications. If our specifications are better than them, then okay, we are good to go. If their specifications are better, then obviously no one will buy our product. So we will need to improve our concept and we will need to rethink the process again. So we are trying to identify the cutting edge. Cutting edge is also USP of our product. Either our cost should be less than them, either our functionality should be better than them, or either our aesthetic should be better than them. Or there are so many parameters other than these three which can be there to compare benchmarking. But basically we are comparing two different products. One that is already there in the market and the other which is our product. And we here we see that okay, competitor is better, our product is better, both have similar capabilities, competitor is better. So it seems that our product is lacking some design, and we can see there here also that this is not looking as much competitive as this one, so we need to rethink the design. Or we can say that okay, this is cost effective and we will go forward, but we will benchmark it with some product in a way. Then we will do economic analysis, we will do cost calculations, we will revise our old calculations, because we have calculated some cost during our concept generation and finalizing specification also. But during economical analysis, we will consider each and every factor. We will consider the machines that need to be purchased. We will consider land which will be needed to set up the factory. We will consider the transportation cost, the raw material cost. Each and every small aspect will be considered during the economic analysis, and then we will figure out that if customer is willing to pay this amount or not. And once the economical analysis is completed and we are happy that okay, the customer might uh, uh, produce might purchase our product, we'll do modeling and prototyping of our concept, our design. And this is applicable only if prototype is not already built in concept testing. As we have discussed during concept testing that Uh, uh, Sometimes it is necessary to build a prototype, but if we have not already built a prototype, we'll build a non-functional prototype first to make sure that we don't spend too much money if our concept is not good. And after building the prototype, we check that it's functional, its aesthetics are good, and if we wish to modify it, we can still go for modifications. Else we will say that okay, our process is complete and we have achieved what we wanted to achieve. We have achieved a concept which is as per our expectation, and we can go in the next process of testing the prototype with customers and producing the product. So this is all for process of concept generation or front end process. This will be the end of session.